If I was to pick a trait, a common trait that I found in people that I wouldn't like to work with, and I'm talking about just purely professional traits, I'm not talking about personality traits, that trait would be laziness. And perhaps laziness is not the right way to explain what I mean. Perhaps lack of care is what closer to what I'm talking about here. What I've noticed is that there are some inconsistencies. If I'm checking something, if I'm putting my reviewer hat on, I notice inconsistency, and for the longest time I thought that the problem was that people just don't get it, right? No matter what I try, no matter what I do for the explanations and my way of explaining things and doing feedbacks is video format. I do it in, I just review things in real time, so to speak, right? I just record things and explain. And by the way, I'm not trying to weasel myself out of responsibility. I 100% understand that the way I explain myself sometimes, or maybe even more often than just sometimes, can be not as clear as it can be. My mind tends to go different places, and it's somewhat of a difficulty for me to stay on track. I can always just go into rants and rumble and things like that. So that's definitely a factor in here. But with my experience, what I've noticed that it's not really, because models would still have some kind of problems, and those problems, they would be in some places and they wouldn't be, or I guess they would be fixed in other places. So I think the issue is the just lack of care, right? It's the kind of mindset that if nobody sees that, then I will not do that. Or if somebody says to me that this is not important, then I will not do that. It's basically lack of having some kind of standards for the work that we do ourselves, right? Because if the quality of work is going to be dictated by somebody else's opinion, by somebody else saying that this needs to be done or this shouldn't be done, it just means that there's just not enough care for what we do. And without that, I don't think we would be able to achieve the quality of of our work, the quality that we want it to be, right? The quality that we want to achieve. So I think it boils down to just how much we care and the inner motivation that we have for the work that we do. And it is difficult. Don't get me wrong. It's difficult to maintain motivation, right? And that's probably why I sometimes, when I do some video tutorials or just some explanation, that's probably why I keep repeating that UI is quite important. That if you can customize the program to the way that you it makes you just feel more comfortable. And the key here for me is not just comfortability or just comfort, it's the focus, right? If the program allows for that, use that, because to me, focusing on something, it goes hand in hand with the ability to maintain that motivation. Because if I every single time, if I need to go into some kind of panels to do something, and if I'm working on the same kind of a asset or the same kind of element, so for example here, let's say we're working on the fingers, there are a lot of fingers and they are all the same. If this is already just a challenge, right? Repeating something again and again and again, knowing just in advance that you will be able to do that, you know how to do it, you did it once right here, it means that you can already do it multiple times, countless of times, right? So it's just a challenge in itself to maintain motivation to proceed with the rest of the elements. And when you have to apart from that, when you have to every single time go somewhere in here, maybe go into a brush menu and select something in here, the whole process just becomes a nightmare, right? Staying motivated, staying in the kind of mindset to achieve the same look or even better than the first try. If you enjoy this content or find it useful, please consider supporting me by buying me a cup of coffee via the link in the description. It's just becoming harder. It's just it creates obstacles where they shouldn't be. So that's another thing that I should probably say, that use customization to your advantage, not because it's just comfortable, not because it's just easier, right? It's just because it allows you to maintain the motivation that you need to complete your work or do whatever the task it is there is at hand. The downside of that, the downside of caring so much about what we do and having this kind of motivation, is that we can easily get burned out, right? If we are making, once again, the same kind of a character, or even within the character, if we are making the same things again and again and again, and we care about those things, not because somebody said so, right? Not because we're doing some kind of a job for somebody else, but because we want things to be the highest quality possible, the highest standard that we set ourselves, right? Those things, they become just too much to kind of maintain this quality on, right? So we naturally, I think, we get the tendency to just get a little bit lazier, right? Just repeating the same thing is not exactly fun. It's just it's a tedious process. The mind naturally would want to wander off, and perhaps it will just just whisper to us, well, not let's stop caring about it too much, let's just do half of what we did somewhere else, right? And I think in those cases, or just in general, when we do care about our work, we definitely need to take some kind of a breaks, right? I still don't really know what the right approach is, whether we need to battle with ourselves, right? Whether we need to read those books called books like Art of War or something like that, right? So the idea basically is that we need to kind of struggle and we need to fight, and every morning we need to get up and sit in front of the computer and then do something, and then out of doing something good will happen. Or we should not necessarily wait, but feel in some way like we want to do something. I don't know which one is the right way, and there's definitely no white and black, right? There are some situations where we definitely need to do something, but if it's a personal work, or if it's just or if you have a chance to take a break, by all means take breaks. By all means do something else, do some kind of either just switch the model altogether. If you've done for your 10th model was a male character, do a female character. If all you've done has been people, right, human beings, do some kind of a monster, do some kind of like a demon that I've done here, for example, right? Just basically switch your brain, switch your focus, your attention, and do something else. So this way we kind of refresh and just stay refreshed this way, and we get a little bit more energy to maintain the motivation. And if you do have this motivation, if you can sustain the motivation, and if you can create something that you make in the same quality everywhere, like I said, not because somebody told you so, but because you care, this is just 100% guarantee that your work will be better. It will stand out among the rest. And if we're talking about something like applying for a job, or just doing things for the sake of getting a job, or just being a professional, that will definitely stand out for sure. And as I mentioned, if I was to choose a trade that is kind of common, the trait that would make me not want to work with somebody, that would be it, right? That would be that, because it's not that when something is unclear, we just show something and then it becomes clear, and then it can be fixed. The problem here is that once shown, the person or a person just doesn't really care about it, right? They would fix it here and they would leave it there, and it will continue every single time. So in that sense, I would much rather work with somebody who is who's motivated themselves, right? They don't wait for somebody to just tell them something. They know that this is what they need to do, and this is the quality they care, and this is the quality they will make sure that they will maintain throughout the execution of a model.